Hello and welcome to another episode of Garden Stable with Rose, and I am Rose. So today I am here with an update on my Rise 3-tier family garden indoor hydroponics system. That's a mouthful. It's been probably about 2 months since I got this set up, and there's an unboxing video as well as some progression videos on my channel if you'd like to look at those, but I'm just giving a brief update, so hopefully this will be short. Overall, I will say that I am not that impressed with the Rise Garden, unfortunately. And as I've said in other videos, I don't have much to compare it to other than outdoor gardening. And then I have another indoor system, which is the Garden 3.0 system. So I'm really just comparing it to the garden in terms of ease of use and growth and health of the plants and all of that good stuff. So I will say this is underperformed compared to the other one. The other one is like leaps and bounds, it seems, ahead of growth compared to this Rise Garden, and the other one is probably only 6 weeks old instead of 2 months. So that one was set up a couple of weeks after this one. But I have harvested a few things. I've harvested some lettuce. Let me get closer here. I've harvested some of this endive here and a lot of the herbs. Actually, I had to pull out the basil because it started to bolt. I still have a little lemon basil. I've been cutting off of that. I haven't really used any of these other herbs because they've just really gotten big enough to harvest from. The oregano and thyme and all that stuff. Dill is finally taken off. That looks pretty good. Cilantro did well in here. It probably did better than anything else. And I got some parsley back there. Let's see. I had spinach. I had to pull that out. The Swiss chard, this is kind of the second flush. The kale has been growing slow, but this is the second flush of that. And more cilantro. Like I said, the cilantro is growing like gangbusters. I did put some new seedlings in because I got rid of some of the leafy greens. So I've put in some chives here, which are pretty small. I haven't thinned them yet. I'm waiting for them to get a little bigger. And then back there is some more parsley because I can never have enough parsley for cooking, and it grows slow in this system. The one bright spot is that finally these tomatoes are starting to flower. Let me see here. Hopefully you can see that. But it has some little flowers on it. This one doesn't have flowers yet, but I can tell they're about to come. Yeah, and the peppers are slow. They definitely have nothing going on but green leaves, which is nice, but no flowers yet. And this is a little squash plant, I believe. So that is it. And there's a countdown in the app that tells when you're supposed to take this whole thing apart and clean it, and I think I have maybe a month left on that. I think it's I don't know if it's every 80 or 90 days. I don't pay much attention to the app. I don't even use it anymore because it's not that helpful. Yeah, it's not helpful at all, actually. Basically what I do here is once a week I will add my liquid fertilizer. I am still using the fertilizers that came with the system because they gave me multiple bottles. So I'm using that, and I use the pH down whenever I add water. So I add a little bit of that once a week, which is about once a week. So that's all I've done. I will say that the plants don't look the healthiest, some of them, especially compared to the garden system. I don't know if this one has some kind of fungus or something, but the leaves have been turning yellow in spite of my, adjusting pH and fertilizing. So I'm just hoping I can get something harvested off of there before it's overtaken by whatever's going on. I've been putting my fan on, even though it's very low humidity here and it's cold. It's cool in my house. I've been still putting the fan on to, make sure there's no issues with moisture and all of that would lead to fungus and things. But yeah, I don't know what the deal is with this system, but it just doesn't seem to be growing as well as my other one. I've also trimmed the roots because they were getting long and getting all tangled together, and that was a hot mess. So I went in and I trimmed all the roots that were extra long. And that's kind of all I've been doing. Now, the one thing one of the other things I don't like about the system is you can't really adjust the light schedule. I think you plug it in and it starts on its schedule, which is 16 hours on, I believe, 8 hours off. So it's based upon whenever you plug it in, it seems. So if you wanted to reset it, you would plug it in at the time, I believe, that you unplug it and plug it back in at the time you want the lights to come on or something like that, and then they'll stay on for 16 hours. So I don't like that. I would like to be able to control the timing of the lights myself with the app or with a control panel or something. Yeah. Now there is a new system. Rise Garden has just come out with a new system, and I didn't know they were coming out with a new one. I probably would have waited if I had known that. But maybe that system fixes some of these quirky things. But overall, I'm going to say right now, I'm giving this like I don't know, a fair rating, maybe 6 out of 10. I'm really not loving it. So what I am going to do is I'm going to try to tweak my regimen for the next go round, the next grow cycle, when I get all this stuff out of here. I'm going to try to tweak my regimen and with feeding and all of that to see if that makes a difference. Also, since I have noticed that leafy greens tend to, I think, do best in this. That's what I'm guessing for in my experience so far. It's been the leafy greens that have done the best, grown the fastest without any kind of disease issues. So I may just reserve this whole unit, especially the top 2 tiers, for leaf, because they're short. You know, there's a short clearance here. It's not much, maybe a foot. So I may reserve these 2 for leafy greens. And then this bottom, because it is taller, I do still want to grow taller plants here because there's more clearance. There's about 2 feet here, I guess. So I may just use this bottom for like tomatoes or peppers or mini eggplants or mini squash, but this is kind of going to be relegated, I think, to leafy greens because I still am going to use it, obviously. It does serve a purpose, but yeah, it's just not quite living up to my expectations. And also the other thing is I'm not crazy about their pods. I mean, the germination rate was low on the Rise Garden pods that came with my kit. I don't know if the pods were old. I do not know. But all I know is they didn't germinate very well. Some of these pods didn't germinate at all, which is why, another reason why I had to start things over, because, you know, just nothing happened after weeks of being in these little nursery things they give you. So I don't know what's going on with their pods and seeds, but I think from this point going forward, after I use up their whatever I have left of theirs, I'm definitely using my own plugs. And in my other video, I think I did put a link to the actual plugs I use on a response or something. But honestly, it doesn't matter which plugs you use, as long as you use some of those preformed seed starter plugs. You probably could even use rock wool, which I haven't tried, which I may try as a medium. But whichever one, I usually just get whichever one is the cheapest at the time that I'm ordering online. And I usually order them off of Amazon. So I get a big bag of those and use those. So from going forward, I'm going to use my own seeds, my own pods, and I am not going to use these little covers, which I got off of line to kind of keep light from getting to the medium. I'm going to use the foil method. That seems to work better for me. Basically, I just wrap the top of the plug in foil, just the top, and then I stick a hole in the middle where I'm going to put the seed, and that seems to be working the best. And actually, when you look at their pods, it's the same thing. It's just a little bit more professionally done, and they have a label with the name of the seed, but it's basically aluminum foil there. So that is what's happening with this system. I will come back and of course let you know if I got any tomatoes, if I got any peppers, and also when it's time to take this thing apart to clean it, which I think is another month or so, but I'm gonna let probably all of this stuff go to fruition first. Whatever's in there now, I'm gonna let that grow until it's done before I empty it, because I don't want to be dealing with taking plants out and trying to salvage them and put them back. And then I'll start fresh, and like I said, try to figure out what I need to tweak between now and the next time to get just healthier plants. That's my only goal, really. I don't need a huge harvest, but I do need my plants to be healthy and to actually bear fruit. So that is all I have on the rice garden. Yeah, it's been a so-so experience with this one. So not to deter anyone who thinks this is the system for them or who loves it. If you like it, I love it, as they say. But for me, no. This one, no. All right, that's it for now. I shall be back with an update of something. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.